The idea that the blueprint is out on how to beat Valentina now. When you hear this, what do you think?
I think that it's the same that it was before. They could think whatever they can, whatever they want. But one thing is eh, pretend that they know, and other thing to be inside of in the octagon and try that and do that and make it live. Yes, they can work on their things, but it never will work because I every time will find the way to turn the way out and win and continue winning and defending my flyweight. Because as I am saying, you see it, but before you feel that, you never know that.
All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video. Okay, y'all, so I'm just checking out this MMA Hour interview with Valentina Shevchenko and had to stop for a second during my cool down here. Just got done running. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on a little piece that Valentina was talking about in this interview because Ariel Helwani, he pretty much asked her, some different questions about the Tyler Santos fight. And one of the questions, he asked her was about people thinking that there's a blueprint out there to beat her now. He asked, what does she think about everybody, certain fighters thinking that there's a blueprint to beat her. Well, you heard it right there, and that's what I want to talk about. Well, first off, as y'all heard, she basically said that there is no blueprint. There really is no blueprint to beat her because she's always working. And to defend her title the way she does, she stays ready. She has everything covered. And that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a dominant champion, you got to have everything covered. And I'm not saying you have to have everything perfect, but you have to work to know how to make adjustments on the fly, and you have to be somewhat sharp in certain fields. You know what I mean? Like, you can at least be an A+ in certain parts, like your Muay Thai, your striking, your stand-up, and your takedown defense. But the rest, you have to have some type of understanding of it. And that's what I'm always saying. Like, you don't have to be perfect with certain things, but you should have a good understanding of the fundamentals so you know what your opponent is going to do, right? And that's what makes Valentina Shevchenko stand out, right? And I only think like a few people on YouTube, channels that really are hardcore fans, they know who they are. They're the ones that really understand it, and they understand what Valentina Shevchenko said because they've been saying it, and I've been saying this. And I just been saying it in general, you know what I mean, with any fighter. It's like you can see what somebody else does, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to do it, right? It's basically the saying, easier said than done, right? Just because you've seen what Tyler Santos does doesn't mean that, oh, I'm a grappler too. I could do that. I could take her down with ease. Look how she did that. Really? Right? Really? You think you could do that? No. I mean, what Tyler Santos did, I already knew. I was like, when she gets in there, it's going to be a big part of her athleticism. That burst she has, it's going to be part of her physical strength and just her size. That's really going to come into play, and she's going to know how to use it. And she did. For the most part, she knew how to use it to a certain extent. But because there is no blueprint, and just because Valentina's not a one-dimensional fighter and she has everything covered, you see how much it took out of Tyler Santos to get a split decision loss, right? And you see how she came out looking, and it came down to it. I know there was a clash of heads or whatever, but you still see that she realized she was in a fight. It took everything in Tyler to get that done. And that's just telling you right there that next time around, when Tyler Santos prepares for this fight, there is no blueprint. Unfortunately for y'all, there really is no blueprint. I mean, she could go back and watch the tape and pick up on some of the things she did in 5 rounds and see if she could pick up some habits of Valentina. Of course, there's always that. But there really is no holes in a fighter's game whenever they know how to make adjustments on the fly. Like Valentina Shevchenko, yeah, you could say, okay, maybe she's wide open after she throws just a lazy left hand or something. Just an example, right? But if she's quick to recover and catch you with a kick to the body, then that's not really a hole, right? Because you can't stop the body kick. So she makes up for that one mistake, right? She's that quick. So for Tyler Santos this next time around, she's going to have to come with more than a hit. She got to come with more than the same hit that she did the first time. She's got to rework some things, maybe reapply some new things to her game, maybe change up the team and whatever. But there really is no blueprint, right? So for somebody like Miesha Tate, who's been in the fight game for a long time, I'm thinking she should know better herself. Like, you look at this type of fighter that's been this dominant in the flyweight division, she should have a better understanding to know that, man, what Tyler did, that took a lot out of her. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't even be something these fighters are talking about, jumping the gun, and thinking that, oh, I can do that. I mean, if it was that easy, wouldn't that have been done in Valentina Shevchenko's last 4 or 5 title defenses? Like, wouldn't Lauren Murphy been able to use her physicality and her size and her strength? Why wasn't she able to do that, right? Why wasn't Jessica Andrade able to do that? Y'all see why, right? So Miesha Tate, Casey O'Neill, Macy Barber, all these fighters thinking that she's been exploited. Well, Casey O'Neill said that she's been exploited. Fighters that are saying that, they need to just sit back and watch and not even say anything. They just need to take in what Valentina does and understand it, and what Tyler Santos did, right? And just understand what they have doesn't even equal Tyler Santos right now, right? Because again, like I said, it took a lot out of her just to get that done. So yeah, Valentina, I agree with her 100% because I've been saying that. That's why I like to play these clips, because she is the fighter, right? So I'm just let you know that what she's saying is very similar to what I'm saying, because what I'm putting together from her, it doesn't even have just to do with the fight game. You know what I mean? It's just real life. Like, just because you see one person do something doesn't mean you can do it. It's easier said than done, right? So it's just life experience tells me that, oh, Casey O'Neill, you ain't gonna be able to do that. Or just watching Valentina and the way she's been fighting all these years, I can say 100%, oh man, there's no blueprint. There's no blueprint to beat her. Like, there's somebody out there that could possibly beat her, like Tyler, but Tyler wouldn't have made a blueprint out of it. Like, let's say if Tyler got the split decision win, or she got a unanimous, I'd have been like, there still ain't a blueprint. If she fought the way she did, you know what I mean? There's still not a blueprint to beat her, because not everybody can do that. You want a blueprint to beat somebody? Jessica Andrade. Why? Because there's not many dimensions to her, right? And we seen what Joanna did round after round. It wasn't like Joanna fought tooth and nail. I mean, she had some rough times in that fight with Jessica Andrade, but it was still a pretty easy win for her. What did she do? Kept the jab in her face all night. Calf kick, jab, calf kick, jab, 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 calf kick. You know what I mean? So that's telling you right there that Jessica Andrade cannot stop the jab after 5 rounds, right? But for what Tyler did to Valentina, she fought like hell just to get takedowns and keep Valentina down. So there's nothing you can say there for Miesha Tate or Casey O'Neill, like, oh, I could do that. I could do that with ease. I could do that too. No, you can't. You know how strong Tyler Santos is? That's why I said I've been watching Tyler Santos. Tyler Santos, she is a powerful fighter. Now, everybody talked about her resume, where she came from, but if you all really look deep, where she came from, I'm talking about. So yeah, Tyler had something going for her. But next time around, like Valentina said, there's no blueprint. Valentina's got everything covered. And, I'm not overhyping. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. She's got, her I's dotted, T's crossed. And, she's going to make sure that everything is covered. Just like if Tyler comes back, there's a good chance that she's going to have more than she did the first time. And she didn't use the foot injury as an excuse to. She said that it didn't affect her performance, so there's no excuses there. She fought the way she was, and that tells you how durable and how good Tyler Santos is, right? So we can debunk that as well. But yeah, her ending statement, you heard her right there. She said that it's easy for these fighters to say that, but before they feel it, they can't say it, right? So however she said it, you know how she said it though. Basically, she's saying that it's easier said than done. You can watch her and think it's easy, but if you never felt it before, you can't handle. There's no telling that you can really handle it, right? Like Mikey Garcia. I always mention this example for the boxing fans. Mikey Garcia and Robert Garcia, his trainer. They took the Errol Spence fight. They jumped up like 1, 2 weight classes. Mikey Garcia's a small guy, but he wanted to take on a big, strong, dominant champion like Errol Spence. Why? Because he said he sees something. I see something. I see some holes in his game. Okay, you might can see that. There's certain analysts that could see some holes in Errol, right? But does that mean they could go in there and expose him? No. Does that mean a guy like Mike can go in there and expose him like that? No. If you're not the type of fighter and that's not your style to go in there, whatever you've seen could be exposed by maybe a special boxer. But if you're just a basic boxer that just seen something, doesn't mean you could go in there and take the challenge on, right? Same goes for these girls, in 9, 10, and 11, and 12, and so on, that are saying, oh, there's a blueprint for Valentina. Shoot, by the time you get there, Valentina will probably have already mastered whatever it is that happened this past summer. You know what I mean? By the time you get there, which won't be another 3-4 years, like Casey O'Neill's, right? Those fighters, if you had a 3-4 year process, Valentina might just be too far dominant, or she just might be gone by then, right? Then you'll have to take on a fighter like Tyler. So the whole blueprint thing, I debunked that. Of course, there are some fighters, like I said, the blueprint is out there, and it comes with just straight up facts and just straight up what's presented to you. When it comes to Jessica Andrade, there's blueprints to beat her, right? Holly Holm, there's blueprints to beat her. Ronda Rousey, there's a blueprint to beat her. Joanna, there's a blueprint to beat her, right? There's a certain blueprint for these type of fighters that once you've seen them lose consecutive times in a certain fashion, right? But when you just seen Valentina one time, how do you really construct a blueprint off of that? How do you really construct a blueprint off of that? So again, yeah, what she said is true. Y'all can say it, but if you never felt it before, hey, you can't really say anything. So yeah, let me know, guys, what y'all think or what y'all thought if y'all seen the interview yet. But yeah, let's also debunk the foot injury. So simps out there, stop making excuses. Valentina Shevchenko was just in a good fight. She said it didn't affect her performance. So there's also a new blueprint, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace. She had me cracking up with that. She said, She said, you see that, but before you feel that, you never know that. Hey, makes sense, right?